Stay with us for more action, but first, who's this 1988 Formula Opel Euroseries driver and future Grand Prix star? Welcome back. Who was this 1988 Formula Opel Euroseries driver and future Grand Prix star? Heinz-Harald Frentzen. Formula Opel was conceived a decade ago as a promotional platform for revitalising Opel's image, for launching the company's new Family 2 16-valve road car engine, and for communicating the link between Opel and General Motors' new acquisition, Lotus. Building on its previous success in organising championships for smaller single-seater categories, Dan Partel's European Formula Drivers Association developed an innovative concept aimed at levelling the playing field for young racers. EFDA would create a new series using identical chassis, tyres, fuel and, most importantly, engines. The production of identical racing engines presented a particular challenge. Opel's advanced manufacturing technology allowed the race units to be built, tested and equalised on its own production line in Kaiserslautern. The chassis was a combined effort of Lotus and British specialist suppliers. 85 of the sleek and strong designs were sold in advance of the first race for the new formula. Japanese giant Bridgestone was selected to supply the standard tyres for the new series. To keep costs down, each entrant would be restricted to a total of 6 per weekend. The championship itself, dubbed the Formula Opel Euroseries, would embrace 10 high-profile events in 8 European markets, half of which would support Formula One Grand Prix races. National series for the Formula would also be run in Britain and Germany. The Formula's appeal was confirmed by the appearance of a 37-car field at the first race in June, made up of aspiring champions from 18 countries on 5 continents. As the competitors assembled in front of 25,000 fans at the Dutch Zandvoort circuit, Opel and EFDA had clearly done their sums right. The first 14 cars had qualified within a second, led by Finnish youngster Mika Hakkinen and experienced Dane Henrik Larsson. Local men Peter Cox and Allard Kalf were also in contention, while British series leader Alan McNish lined up 8th. Hakkinen made a quick break at the start, but the savvy Larsson was content to preserve his tyres. His strategy paid off, and with 3 laps to go, the duo were nose to tail. But it was Hakkinen who held on to take the checkered flag and claimed the distinction of winning the Euroseries debut race. Round 2 saw the Euroseries provide the opening act for the French Grand Prix. Hakkinen posted his 2nd consecutive win in a race marked by a spectacular but injury-free first corner accident, which only served to underline the inherent safety of the new cars. Rain has always been motor racing's greatest equaliser, and Silverstone's Euroseries round allowed the underfunded Dane Henrik Larsson to display his wet weather finesse. While many were caught out in the conditions, Larsson kept control to lead home a hard-charging Alan McNish.
Yes, it's a great race for me, and I win the first race now here, so yes, it's really happy with that, and I lead the championship now, so it's good for me.
At Silverstone, series pacemakers Hakkinen and McNish benefited from the advice of world champion Alain Prost, while James Hunt was on hand at several rounds to assist Marlborough's young chargers. The grid at Hockenheim was topped by Peter Cox ahead of Hakkinen, Larsson and McNish. German series regulars Jürgen von Gartzen, Marco Werner and Heinz-Harald Frentzen lined up behind, eager to impress the crowd at their home Grand Prix. Larsson overcame a demon start by Hakkinen to establish a lead he would keep to the end. The real excitement was provided by Allard Kalf, who roared from 11th to 2nd, the Dutchman getting the better of a last lap incident with countryman Cox to claim the runner-up spot. The German contingent was again on form at Spa, with Werner and von Gartzen sharing the front row. The first live television broadcast of a Euroseries race captured the action. Werner and von Gartzen eliminated each other in this high-speed incident while contesting the lead. Larsen spun out of contention as Hakkinen narrowly edged out Cox for the win. Knutstorp in Sweden proved a watershed in the championship, as for the second race in a row, Hakkinen won and Larsen failed to score.
Very hard because I'm leading all the time and have to try very careful all the time what happened.
The Euroseries returned to England in August to support the Brands Hatch Formula 3000 race. After dispatching a fast-starting Justin Bell, British champion-elect Alan McNish notched up his only Euroseries victory of the year in convincing fashion. The wet race also saw another instalment in the title saga, as Hakkinen led Larsen home behind McNish. The Euroseries next travelled to Germany's famous Nürburgring to support a round of the World Sports Car Championship. Brazilian Eduard Neto and early leader Heinz-Harald Frentzen fell victim to the slippery conditions. Larsen again mastered the elements to win, clawing his way back into the title race as Hakkinen failed to score. Larsen's efforts to close the 13-point gap to Hakkinen would be hampered by the return of German series champion Heinz-Harald Frentzen, who would dominate the final two rounds at the Portuguese and Spanish Grand Prix. The front of the grid in Estoril was shared by Frentzen and Kalf, with Larsen and Hakkinen occupying the second row, separated by just 1/1000th of a second. Kalf won the start, but was soon demoted by Frentzen, Hakkinen and Larsen. Behind the leader, the title contenders were locked in the closest dice of the season. After trailing briefly at the start, Larsen repassed and held Hakkinen at bay lap after lap. The Finn finally succumbed to mounting frustration on lap 15, damaging his suspension by hitting the back of Larsen's car. Hakkinen limped home, out of the points and out of the series lead. Larsen's second place gave him a 2-point advantage going into the deciding round. The drama of the finale was heightened by the contrast between the title protagonists. Larsen, with a borrowed car and transporter, a part-time crew and a budget of 30,000 marks, was leading from the Marlboro-backed professionally run Hakkinen. Could the underdog hold on? The showdown began dramatically, with Hakkinen narrowly escaping an aggressive lunge by Larsen at the start. Sadly, the Dane slowed with a mechanical problem and was unable to maintain his challenge. Hakkinen finished third ahead of Larsen, allowing the Finn to wrap up the title by the slimmest of margins. A single point awarded to him for claiming the fastest lap.
The start was very good. Larsen went behind and no problem.
There's little thing sit normal in my steering wheels, and the start going, this fell off, and in the first corner fell down to the brakes, and I have a problem every time now I should brakes. That one was behind the gas and the brakes every time.
Perhaps the biggest winner was Formula Opel itself. The ability of the concept to deliver close racing and develop new talent was established beyond doubt. The Euroseries had generated strong media interest in its debut season, with coverage on over 50 television channels around the world. The 10 events drew an average of 50,000 spectators each, placing it second only to Formula One in European popularity. And the final triumph, the sporting spirit and family camaraderie that emerged in that memorable first season. In the words of champion Mika Hakkinen, "I like the way the championship is organised, the way it makes everyone good friends." The Formula Opel Euroseries first graduating class produced a bumper crop of future Formula One endurance racing and touring car stars. With continued sponsorship from Marlboro, inaugural series champion Mika Hakkinen progressed smoothly up the single-seater ladder. Winning the 1990 British Formula 3 title earned him an immediate promotion to Formula One with Team Lotus. By 1993, he was at McLaren as teammate to the great Ayrton Senna, himself an EFDA champion in 1982. Williams star Heinz-Harald Frenzen's road to Formula One was rockier than Hakkinen's. He finished runner-up in the 1989 German Formula 3 series, ahead of Michael Schumacher. After a disappointing season of Formula 3000, Frentzen rebuilt his reputation in Japan alongside future Grand Prix rivals Eddie Irvine and Mika. His Formula One break came with Sauber in 1994. 1989 British Formula 3 champion David Brabham enjoyed a season in the Formula 1 team founded by his father, Sir Jack Brabham, in 1990, and also had several outings with Simtek in 1994. He has since driven touring cars and GTs for the BMW factory team. Narrowly beaten by David Brabham to the British F3 title, Alan McNish became a race winner in Formula 3000, and more recently has tested Formula 1 and Indy cars. The rapid progress of the Euroseries 1988 graduates through the motor racing ranks ensured another strong class in 1989. Join us next time for highlights from that storming second season and the best of the action from the 1997 Formula Opel European Union Series race at Zolder in Belgium.
You're watching NBC.